That's right. And a lot of that seems to me to be, of course, not siding with the US, NATO, CIA part, at least openly, but really siding with Russia in all of this. What do you make of the Russia worship that's going on in a lot of sectors of the alt media right now?
We briefly talked about this innate need in most people, majority of hero seeking. You want to have a leader, you want to have a hero, and if you can't find one, you go create one. It came up when we were talking, you and I, about Greenwald and Snowden, and suddenly this was going to cause revolution. Remember? And all the things that were going to change. This was it. This was what people were waiting for. You are seeing it today, in the past, especially year or so, with Russia and Putin. And you know how we always talk about CNN's coverage in 2003, 2004 of Iraq war, you know, shock and awe? I mean, you watch Russian media, especially RT, I would say they are playing the shock and awe three times worse than CNN did. And it's like, we dropped 38 bombs. It's like, yeah. And then they were the I marvel. I mean, the parallel between U.S. mainstream media warmongering, MIC loving U.S. mainstream media, and what we see today with RT, it's uncanny. And it's nauseating. It's completely nauseating every single time I get
But the
invitation.
very people who reject that from CNN and those sources embrace it wholeheartedly on the Russian side.
Do you know why? Of course, it's obvious because when it involved US and US stuff, it was sticking it to the United States. See, when you go to court, let's say you have a murder case or whatever, one of the things that comes into play is the intent. Did you have the criminal intent, or was it was it done without intending to do the harm? Well, with the intention of RT was, sure, they did have excellent coverage on U.S. civil liberties, which lacks what civil liberties, and all these cases warmongering the United States. They shined. They were great. They were not doing it because they care about the people's welfare in the United States and their liberties. They did it because they wanted to F-rush the United States, and they wanted to stick it to the United States. That was their intention, and some positive externalities came out of that. Now they have their own interests, which is they are the mouthpiece of Putin, and everything is dictated from the above. That publication doesn't have 1% freedom because I have been talking with certain US reporters and correspondents, and they are specifically told, as long as you do not criticize Russia or Putin, okay? This actually goes beyond and above what our mainstream media is doing here. It's disgusting. So under these circumstances, with that level of hypocrisy, it's mind-boggling. We have this major, I mean, it's a big percentage of people, intellectuals who write, who are worshiping Putin. They are worshiping Arthi, and they really treat Putin as Messiah. I mean, he's a scumbag with hundreds of millions of dollars. I know it. I know it firsthand in the banks in the Greek side of Cyprus, island of Cyprus. Last summer, when I was traveling in the region, you have no idea how many yachts I saw. We're looking at yachts that are $40 million, $50 million. These are all Russian oligarchs who have high position within Russian government. I mean, they have these yachts that make the yachts of Saudis look pale. Okay, there's no coverage of any
No,
of
but
this stuff.
Sibel, Putin is fighting the oligarchs. Don't you understand?
Oh, he's the people's president. And in fact, I just saw some dummy is writing about how Putin is celebrating whatever holidays, New Year's, among the people in some village in Russia because he's the common man's man. And I'm disgusted. I mean, I am disgusted, but I'm also frustrated because I mean, I'm looking at people who were, Reagan's, he was assistant secretary during Reagan, and I respect him. He writes magnificent articles, Paul Craig Roberts. And I've been so disappointed. I haven't been able to publish any of his latest articles because every time I go there, he's like is Messiah Putin and the great Russian government and the greatest Russia. I mean, this guy was serving during Cold War, during Reagan administration, and now suddenly he even is engaged in Russia worship. And all I have to say is, it's been very hard to find material to republish Boiling Frogs Post because I cannot do it because it won't be a conscientious act, and I don't like hypocrisy, James. As you know, I'm allergic to hypocrisy. RT did some great work, not because their intentions were good, because they like to give it and stick it to the U.S. every chance they get. And now their warmongering, shock and awe Broadway that they have in there, from the titles of their articles to the coverage, it's nauseating. And I'm boycotting it. I'm not going. I'm not being a guest. I don't want to have anything to do with these Russian government-owned media.
And let me put that on record as well. I can say that I was invited many, many, many times to talk on RT. I was never once told what to say or what not to say, which is why I agreed to participate in the same way I'd participate in live interviews on CNN or anywhere else that was willing to host me. But at this point, yes, I agree. I have no interest in being an RT and being a mouthpiece for that propaganda that it's turned into. So I have to echo your sentiments there and your frustration with the way that that narrative has been wholeheartedly embraced by much of the alt media, or supposedly alt media anyway.